There's a water tank in the foreground of the picture here. Ten four, Jamie. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who is joining us online. I'm Eliana Marino up here in News Chopper 4 Alpha, along with my pilot, Sarogar Betian. He's in the middle of the turn there, so pardon the skid there. But we are over the ranch fire. This is in Azusa, a fire that broke out at about 2:45 this afternoon. And when it did start, it was just a few acres, but because of the terrain in the area and the temperatures were very hot at the time with mild winds, they were about 5 to 7 miles an hour at the time. The fire quickly exploded to several hundred acres and is now 3,000 acres with 0% containment. Now, just a couple weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a fire in this area as well. That was the dam fire that burned a little bit closer to the Morris Dam, hence the name, the dam fire. However, this fire is not burning in that burn scar just yet. It is moving in that direction, so at some point it will meet, and at that point there's really going to be nothing left to burn, so it shouldn't be able to continue at that point, at least not in that direction. But it, of course, could go the completely opposite direction and continue in unburned brush. For now, though, I can tell you that what we're looking at here is going to be just right off of St. Gabriel Canyon Road, which is completely shut down to traffic, unless you are somebody who was already in the area and is being asked to evacuate. We do have evacuations in place for the community of Mount Cove, and I'll give you some streets associated with that. They're going to be the residents who are south of Highwood Court, as well as north and west of Turning Leaf and Boulder Ridge. Again, this fire breaking out at about 2:45. Gil Lavis, my partner in News Chopper 4 Bravo, was the first news helicopter overhead, and at that point it was just a few acres, but it has grown significantly since. It was putting up a huge plume of smoke throughout the day, which isn't as visible now because of nightfall, but we actually have a really neat tool up here in News Chopper 4 Alpha, and I can actually show you the plume. Even though it's laying down now, you'll see it in a second here. I can put in our infrared, and you'll see that glow there. That is all smoke that is now laying down onto the forest, and it's typical fire behavior. That's what you'll see at this time of night. The smoke pretty much lays down, but in all likelihood tomorrow we will see things kick back up, and you'll see that plume once again. There's going to be very few aerial assets on this fire at this time. In fact, I'll ask my pilot here in a moment if there's even any water dropping helicopters, because really that's the only thing that would be possible at this time of night. All of the fixed wing have to leave once it's dark, which tonight was at about 8:15 or so. So at most we may have some water dropping helicopters. I'll work to confirm that. I believe there was a request for at least 2, and I don't know if it was actually fulfilled. And if that's the case, they will be making water drops throughout the night, because they will be equipped with night vision goggles that allow them to see that terrain and be able to effectively make those water drops. What we do see are a lot of ground crews. I can see a lot of fire department personnel vehicles. There's also a lot of police cars down there. The Azusa Police Department leading the pack here in terms of law enforcement, because it is their jurisdiction. I'll widen the shot out though, so I can show you some of those vehicles. I'll start with the fire department vehicles there, and let me throw on a few elements here. We do have our mapping system up, so I'm hoping to be able to see some of the small streets up there. We know that the major there is St. Gabriel Canyon Road, but there's also a few small streets there that we can point out to you. So those fire department personnel are going to be closest to Mountain Laurel Way. It looks like they're just north of it. And then I want to show you the police vehicles that I was just looking at here a moment ago. Actually, they're currently obstructed actually by the hillside, but when we head a little bit further east in a moment, then I'll be able to show you those. I believe that they're actually staging in that community of Mount Cove to, of course, try to protect some of those structures, keep people away. That notification for people to evacuate came out at about the 3 or 4 o'clock hour, roughly at that time. The fire breaking out at about 2:45, and those mandatory evacuations didn't immediately go into place, but once they did, it basically targeted that community of Mountain Cove. And I believe I can see some of those police cars now, so I'll go ahead and move the shot so you can see those cars there. Those were the ones that I was referring to, that are basically staging in the community, trying to keep people out of the area. You see that there's roadblocks in place. You can see that one car pulling up now, that officer signaling that person to make a U-turn and letting them know they cannot proceed up the mountain. Again, if you were already up there, if you're a resident who was already up there, you will be allowed out. You just won't be allowed in. At the very top there, huh? Yeah. Saro just pointed this out to me. We have that huge ball of flame there further up the hill. It's unclear what exactly is on fire, but in all likelihood, it's just going to be brush. There's really not much in the way of structures up there. Most of the structures are downhill. You can see a little fire whirl there. This is the forest, so you're going to have a lot of mature vegetation, a lot of dry vegetation because of the high heat that we have experiencing, and then of course the low humidity. Assignment desk from Alpha. CHP East LA, it's a chase. Can we go to East LA, Sarah? Can we go to East LA, please? Yeah, there's a pursuit. And for all of you who are watching us online, we're going to actually step away here from the fire for just a moment. We are hearing about a police pursuit not far away from where we're at currently, so we're going to try to catch that. And if that were to terminate, we'll come immediately back to the fire. And back with you guys online here. That pursuit that we were going to, the